right, here we go. So, hi everybody. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sabah.
Hi, thank you for coming here on my YouTube channels and Active Birth. And just to give a little introduction about Sue, Sue is my friend. She's a beautiful yoga teacher. She's an Ashtanga Level 2 authorized teacher and teaches yoga and lives in Hawaii at the moment. We met 8 years ago in Mysore, and she shared her journey of pregnancy, motherhood, and postpartum on social media all along. And with that, I think she inspired many women, including me, because watching her go through the motherhood with courage, strength, and grace just reframed the concept of motherhood for many. So she practices and
Wow.
she teaches yoga daily, every day, even with her baby, with her son Ethan, who's 5 years old now, and who loves to do yoga, and he loves to be around her when she's in her mats. So welcome, Sue.
Thank you. Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't realize the effect of the work that you do, but you always inspire people, and just being yourself and do what you love. I think that's very amazing.
Already making me cry. Look.
I think motherhood gets to you, yeah. Sometimes you realize how amazing it is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's coming from there, definitely.
Yeah. It's amazing how our children brings different aspects to us that we don't realize. They push you in a direction, and there is no choice. You're just pushed into it. There's nowhere to go, so you just go for it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
So
completely.
I wanted to start with our first question. Tell us about Sue before she became a mother.
Okay, so Sue before was and is still very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, because I forget. I'm Puerto Rican, so my mother tongue is Spanish, so I sometimes forget the words. And I
Yeah,
have a strong accent, if you can tell.
I'm the same. My English is my second language. I'm Arab, so I'm always like, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm a very anxious person. So and I used to like get into a lot of like not the physical fights, but I'd always be arguing with people, and um, yeah, and the anxiety was always there. Uh, and then I after I graduated college, I studied marketing. I worked in business sales, and I was working also in a bank, and I felt how bad it could be, if you don't have control of the anxiety. Uh, I even had a phase breakout, and I went through eating disorder. So, but I didn't want to share it with anyone because I felt like if I told people about it, first it was embarrassing for sure, and second I wanted to get out of it on my own. I felt like if I told other people, people would kind of try to help, and I wasn't ready to be helped. I feel like when you have an issue, you have to heal it yourself first, otherwise it's not going to get healed. You want to heal it first. So yeah, I don't know exactly how I got out of all of that, but I think it was yeah, I know how it was actually. When in 2013 I went to do my yoga teacher training in South India, and over there I was doing yoga twice a day, and eating a lot of food, but it was organic. It was organic food, and
Yeah.
everything was vegetarian. And I was like, looking at myself in the mirror, and I was like, I'm eating all this bread, and how come I'm losing weight? I don't get it. And I was like, what's going on here? So something clicked,
Yeah.
something clicked, and I was like, wow, this is working. This is and also yoga. After a good yoga session, I would look at myself in the mirror, and I didn't see anymore the distorted, because I used to see myself like you know, you get these images in your brain that are not real. So I had bulimia, by the way. So
Okay.
yeah. So yeah, eventually everything healed through yoga. I was like, yeah, this is the lifestyle I
How
wanna
old were
pursue.
you at the time?
Well, the bulimia started when I was in my teenage years, but it wasn't daily. It would
Yeah.
just come and go, you know, come and
Yeah.
go. I think the anxiety would trigger it, you know.
Yes.
I was disconnected from my body, and I would just, I guess, eat to fill in something that, you know, I guess out the nervousness, you know, when you're disconnected and you're not in the present and you eat and you're not feeling that it's going down in your stomach.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think, yeah,
Thank you
that was
for
one of the,
sharing this for us. I think that's a big thing for with women, especially.
yeah, definitely. I know that I have to talk more about this. I know that there's women out there suffering from it, and I should definitely share more. Um, but yeah, yeah, that's what I went through, and so that's why I was like, I'm gonna stick with yoga. This is powerful. This healed me, um, and it still does. You know, I feel like if I stop yoga, I don't know if I would ever go back into those habits, bad habits. But yeah, um,
You feel the
I've never.
difference. You feel the
Yeah,
difference. Mm.
if I stop yoga, definitely I think it would go downfall again. I think yoga is what keeps me, you know, sane.
Mm.
So yeah, that was my life before. Yeah. Sure. Okay, but yeah, thanks. Sorry.
No, it's okay. So after that, like after you found yoga and you were practicing in India, is that when you met your husband? Did you get married afterwards, or you were already like?
Yeah, we were married. I mean, actually, were we married? Yeah, we were married because we were in Egypt. I was in. We met in New York, 2008, and yeah, I just knew it was him, you know, because
Yeah,
you just know.
you just know. So he kind of like brought you to Egypt, which is very close to India, and that's why you were able to go to.
Yeah, well, I was in Tunisia before, and then we went to Egypt. So 5 years. We met in New York, 2 years in New York, and then Tunisia for 5 years, and then Egypt for like 6 or 7 years. So, but yeah, in Egypt was where the spark happened, which is funny, right? Because there's so much spirituality to
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
country, and you know.
yeah.
So yeah, I remember being in Zamalek where I used to live. And I went to take a yoga class, and like after the yoga class, I was in Shavasana, and I had like a vision, like that, you know, this should be my lifestyle. So
You knew
that's when
that.
I was like, I went home and I started doing research, and I was like, I want to be a teacher, and I, you know, bought the plane tickets. Everything was quick. I knew.
Amazing.
So yeah, so we just went there and took a month off. The first time I ever go to like a, you know, a
Okay.
place and stay for a month. And yeah, it was scary. It was
Yeah,
definitely
I can imagine for the first time. But just the first time, then it becomes normal.
yeah, yeah.
So how long after that until you got pregnant or you decided that's okay, now I want to become a mother?
Wow, well, you know, 2014 was we were talking about it. We both knew we wanted to become parents. So yeah, we knew it was time. So we planned it. It was planned. And you know how we have the fertile days.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was tracking it, and you know, it was planned.
It was
So like
planned.
immediate, yeah, and that's
Yeah,
fertile day. I knew when I knew that I was pregnant
yeah.
when I, you know, and I knew when it was happening that I was gonna happen.
Amazing.
It
Amazing.
was like a
Was that your
vision.
first pregnancy?
Yes,
Um,
yeah,
so
yeah.
how many years of yoga practice do you say you had under your belt until you got pregnant?
Wow, not a lot, not a lot. Just
But that still made a difference of you to like have that. base.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, it did. I think I was way healthier, eating
Mm.
healthier, and also not only physically, but more mentally prepared. I think
Mm.
mostly, like the fears
Mm.
are not there that much.
Yeah.
You feel like, okay, I can handle it. Whatever happens, I'll just roll with the punches, right?
Yeah. Definitely being with the right person also makes a huge difference. And you both want the
Agreed.
same thing. Yeah. So you just know.
Agreed.
It's more about making that bond stronger. So it's like time to have the fruits of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed. It's a big adventure to embark on but as long as you said, as long as you have a partner that's supportive,
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest things, very important, because
Mhm.
we need the support, mental support, emotional support from our
Yeah.
husbands or boyfriends or
Yeah.
companions, it's important.
Yeah.
So
So I know it's been 5 years. I don't know how much. Probably you remember certain things. You don't remember certain things. How would you describe when you reflect back? How were you as a pregnant woman? How was your pregnancy? How was your first trimester, for example? Did you have easy one, or were you like nauseous and in bed? And
yeah, no, it was a lot of changes inside. Remember feeling, yeah, a lot of nausea. The second month, I was in. We went to the Sinai, and I was at the beach, and it was like, oh, so beautiful. But I was like suffering because I had nausea. But
mm,
like Ashtanga was keeping me, like helping with
relax.
the nausea. Yeah, the
Mhm.
nausea I would do my practice, and then the nausea would go. And I think it was
Wow.
because of the breath. Yeah.
That's when I first
So
met you. You came to Mysore when you were pregnant. You were there.
yeah,
Yeah. You were
yeah,
like in
I
the
was.
shala doing all your practice.
Yeah, I was like, but no one noticed. Nobody noticed that I was pregnant. I knew I was pregnant, but I went there and I didn't tell anyone
Mm,
because I was afraid that it was my first time practicing with Sharaf,
mm,
and I thought that if I told him, maybe he would tell me, you can't practice, go
mm,
and practice with the Saraswati ji, and I was so excited about practicing with him, and I
yeah.
just didn't tell him during registration, you know. So, which is a bit irresponsible from my side, but I trusted that I was doing the correct thing. So,
I mean, there
you
is
know,
nothing that fits for everyone. If that's what you felt was right for you at the moment, probably your sanity required that, and your son was strong enough to handle it as well. And probably he needed to be in that space. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, but those were fun times, like in Mysore, being
I think we all
pregnant. No
found
one
out
knew.
later when we saw you, like you giving birth. Oh, she was pregnant when she was in Mysore. So everybody
Yeah, but it's funny because I had applied before, and then I got pregnant. So it
knew.
was like, just I didn't plan well. I had, I applied first,
Yeah.
then we decided that, and then I was like, there's no way I'm going to miss practicing
Yeah.
with
Yeah. Yeah.
Sharaz G, my first time practicing with him. There's no way I'm gonna miss this opportunity. So I was like, I'm gonna go, and I, I have read. I don't know if I read the book or, oh, Mariela Cruz. She's a yogini from Costa Rica, and I knew she had kids. I don't remember if she was pregnant when she went to preg. I think, yeah, I remember reading about her, and by the way, you should talk to her too. She has a lot of experience. But yeah, so she inspired me in a
Mm,
way too.
mm,
Like, she empowered me. Like, oh,
mm. Oh,
you know, you can go to Mysore and practice while you're pregnant. If she did it, why can't I, right? So,
yeah.
uh, yeah, so that kind of gave me like the push I needed, and
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
think
was
all of
fun.
us at a certain point, we need that validation and courage because we grew up with a lot of scary stories, especially when it comes to pregnancy and birth. So when you have somebody tells you something like this is no, you are like in your vitality in your prime, take your pregnancy and go, like you're pregnant, you're nothing wrong with you. I think that's so important for all women to have that.
Yeah.
And you were lucky
Yes.
to have that encouragement from her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know her personally, but you know what? When I needed information about registering the school,
Mm.
I reached out to her, and she gave me all the tips. So, you know, I
Okay.
thank her a lot for that. And so she was a big help in the beginning for me.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So during your pregnancy, obviously, probably you kept practicing, but do you remember what other things you did to prepare you for, like, what did you do to deepen your connection with your body? Did you have any other practices? Did you speak to your mother? What were like things that you felt you want to do during pregnancy time? Because with your first child, you have a lot of time on your hand, right? So you're pregnant, you're dreaming about the baby. So how was it for you? How did you prepare?
Wow. You know, I didn't really have any plans. Like I just rolled with the punches.
Mhm.
Um, that's another thing that I wanted to say. I had like I remember being in the supermarket and feeling all the, you know, the hormones kicking in and getting angry, and you know, so that also happened like twice, you know, and lashing out to my husband for,
Yeah.
yeah, but but yeah, you know, I understood that, you know, it was changes in my body, and maybe I was
Mm,
dehydrated or something. And anyway, well, I didn't really have any plan on how to, you know, I didn't read anything
mm,
about it, but mainly I knew that I had the practice, so I would just go do my practice. And in that kept me focused, I think, you know, like,
amazing.
so that helped a lot.
Mm.
I didn't follow any like any specific diet or anything. So I feel like just being on my mat and connecting to my breath, that was really helpful.
How did you
So
feel when your baby first kicked in? Like, did you feel that flutter and that feeling? How was it for you?
I think I was like, what is this? You know, I didn't.
Something moving inside of me.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people would say, "Oh, you're gonna experience like, you know, butterflies inside," and I was like,
Mm,
"What? Butterflies?" You know, in a way, I felt I some women feel it more than others, right?
mm.
So I didn't really start feeling Ethan until like, you know, the second
Trimester.
trimester.
Yeah,
Yeah, some women feel it before,
yeah.
so I don't I didn't really remember. I don't really remember like what I felt when he kicked, but I guess I got excited. I remember filming, you know, the kicks and stuff, you know, because there's a time when they start kicking a lot, and it looks
Yeah, yeah,
like the
yeah.
stomach is doing like this.
Your skin is stretching, and the minute you turn on the video, they stop.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
exactly. Yeah, it's like they are like, they're not gonna film this.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you find out the gender at the time, or you wanted to keep it
Yeah,
a mystery?
yeah, immediately. I was like, I want to know what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is. I don't,
yeah.
I can't wait, you know.
Mm.
And I thought it would be a girl, but you know, it
Yeah.
was a boy, and I was like, wow, a boy! Oh my God, how am I gonna raise a boy? Like,
Mm. Yeah,
oh, I'm a girl, you know, like,
yeah.
but the, you know, the
I think boys are amazing.
insecurities.
I mean, at some level, you know that you love them no matter what, boy, girl. But
Yeah,
then the energy definitely is different, the girl versus a boy. But
yeah,
I am probably, I think somehow the child, the gender that's sent to the mother and the father at the time is whatever energy I think they need to kind of like, let's say, grow. Yeah, like
yes,
maybe you need a soft energy, so you have a girl. Maybe you need somebody, you know, brings that side of you or challenge you or something. Or maybe you get a quiet
yeah,
boy. Maybe you get, like, you never know what's gonna happen and
yeah.
why. Somehow it's like a
That's
puzzle and it
beautiful.
fits. It's like right there. Yeah,
Yeah, I totally believe in this,
yeah.
and yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah. They also say like uh also depending on the mom, they, I don't know if it's true, but supposedly if the woman is you know, in very physical good physical shape, like strong,
Hmm.
then normally she, gives birth to a man. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true.
Okay. Yeah.
I read about that, but I don't know. And then if the mom is more like, relaxed, then, the girl comes.
Girl comes. Yeah. Let her sleep more. Yeah. In our culture, my mother, she has a tradition that she swears by, that she puts a needle like a pendulum with a thread, and then she runs it on the pulse. And if it moves in one direction, it's a boy. It moves the other direction, it's a girl. And she did it for me, and I'm supposed to have 5 boys.
Yeah,
And when she,
wow.
so they really believe in this. She does it for herself, and we all show up, like the girl, boy, all of that. She really believes in that. I'm like, oh, 5 boys, okay, no, that's too much to handle. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing like research online. There's these tests, like old, they call it wife tales, or I don't know what it was, but I did a test and it was saying that it was a boy, and I was like, no, it's gonna be a girl. Like I couldn't,
Yeah,
I couldn't believe. Yeah.
So it was your first pregnancy, and you're also young, like when you got pregnant. So, what did you have any beliefs, or were you like thinking of labor and birth and how it's gonna be, and were you like preparing and looking, and or you just like let it, okay, when it happens, it happens?
Yeah.
Did you watch
This
videos?
is this is a very, very good question, Saba. And from the beginning, I was like, I want to have a vaginal birth. I want it to be natural. I wanna work with a doula. I wanna, go through the experience by using the breath and all of these things. And I was like, this is what I wanted. But it didn't happen like that. So Ethan was inside until my 42nd week.
He didn't initiate the labor.
No, so he wasn't coming out, and I was like, I started getting worried, of course.
Yeah.
And I called the doctor, and I had I made a plan with my doctor. He knew I wanted to do vaginal birth, and but unfortunately, he said it's the 42nd week, and I'm afraid that if you don't come to the hospital and you start delivering vaginally, then there's not going to be enough liquid for the baby to come out. So and it was my first experience, and of course I'm going to go with what the doctor is saying. So
the safety of the baby.
Yeah, of course, that was very important. So, and my doula, she was really good. She was always there, and she was very supportive, and she respected like what I would say. But she also kind of encouraged me. She was like, "No, just wait. It's gonna happen. Just wait, wait."
Yeah.
But of course, fear was there as well.
Of course.
So, yeah. So I feel like in a way, I let fear kick in because of course, it was my first experience, and I was just worried. And there was a bit of anxiety as well. My husband had like a trip that he had to go to, and like it was like everything was just running short on time.
So did they induce you, or you had a scheduled cesarean? Like you basically said, I'm coming for a cesarean.
Yeah. So he said, look, let's start induction process. And I was like, great, okay, well, maybe I can do vaginal birth. But like he was like, okay, so are you feeling anything? Contractions are going on right now, like do you feel pain? And I was like, no, I don't feel any pain. Nothing like the period pain, nothing bad. So, and we kept the induction process for like hours and nothing, like it wasn't dilating.
Your doula was with you at the time, and your husband?
She came at the very, very end. We called her later. I think it was our decision to kind of like
you wait. You call her when you need her, when you feel it's the right time.
Yeah, I needed her emotional support there, so Anyway, like the doctor said, I had a condition called cervical dystocia. What happens is like it doesn't open,
Okay.
like it's just so yeah, that eventually the time came, the decision to do a C-section because we have to get him out, so,
Yeah.
and I was excited. I was like, okay, you know what, let's do it. I want to meet my son. I'm
Of
tired of
course. I
waiting.
want to meet my baby. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and then they asked me if I wanted to be awake or asleep, and I said, of course, awake. I want to see him when he comes out. I
Hardcore.
want to I
Yeah.
want to hug him as soon
Yeah.
as he comes out, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, so I was awake. They put my, I was numbed from halfway down, and I was there, and of course it was so stressful. Um, but and at some point I was feeling like itchy feeling from the medicine, and I had to tell them, oh, I'm feeling itchy, there's something, and they put some medicine, and I don't anyway, yeah, it was not what I envisioned, but um I guess you live and you learn. And when he came out, they had to, and I know a lot of women don't like to, when the doctor, hits the baby, because, oh, that's against nature and whatever. But you know what? I was happy with it because I wanted to make sure that he was good. He was good.
Yeah.
He
Of
he
course.
was still sleeping. They took him out. He was still sleeping. He wouldn't wake up. So
Oh.
like, okay, they hit him, like had to hit him twice so he would
Yeah.
wake up. And then he
Oh.
started crying, and then I have the video and everything, all bloody and stuff. And he came here, and I was like feeling so nervous. I was like, what the hell did I just get into?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it
I mean,
hits you. It hits you that bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, I'm not prepared to be a mom. I was like, wow, oh my gosh. I thought this was gonna be easy, but I don't even know how to, like, I was even feeling a bit like, who are you and why are you here? And like this, like initially when he was in my arms, I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what do I do? I didn't know how
Yeah.
to behave.
Yeah.
But then the doula was there
Okay.
throughout the whole C-section. So
Yeah.
she put Ethan
Mm-hmm.
on my breast, and
Mm-hmm.
we started breastfeeding right away. So that worked
Amazing.
immediately. So it
Amazing.
was like, I think getting the doula was the best thing, because if she wasn't there, I don't think, maybe breastfeeding wouldn't have happened. Maybe,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's one of the best things that I did. And yeah, so it yeah, as I said, like, it wasn't what I expected it to be. But you know what? There's a bird like
Yeah.
making loud
Sweet.
noise outside. Sorry about that. But
Yeah.
what I was gonna say is that yeah, it didn't come out as I wanted, but breastfeeding to me was the natural
Mm.
thing that helped help calm all of the disappointment inside. So I use that as a tool to
Mm.
I don't know,
It
just
felt that's your way to give your baby. That's your gift, right?
exactly.
Mm.
That was what I wanted to give Ethan. I was like, I'm gonna breastfeed
Mm.
until he says no, I don't want anymore. You
Mm.
know.
Mm.
So that's what I did, and yeah,
You
yeah,
see, it's a decision and the choices that you make that shapes you. So when you get to execute those decisions, and that's very empowering for a woman, no matter what
yeah.
kind of birth that you get. So when you put your mind into like the breastfeeding part, that must have been very healing for you.
Oh, it was. Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. I feel like it helped with my, the postpartum depression. It
Mm.
helped I know it helps physically to kind of bring everything back in.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it helped me connect more with him. He slept with me in the same bed. Like I did everything, everything natural that there is to do after. Like that's what I did. I was like, no, he's gonna sleep with me. He's gonna breastfeed. Like, I have to make it up to him because it
Oh,
was just too much,
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so,
yeah.
and then that's why you would see me in Mysore. Like I would always have him here with me, carrying him
You
you
had him
know.
on a sling or riding a bike. That was like such a nice
Yeah,
thing to see.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all the time. I felt like I owed it to him, and I've never spent a day away from him, like till
Mm,
this day. Never.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, not more than, like the nursery time. He would go to nursery sometimes, and
Mm.
yeah. So that's my way of paying it back. you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think it's amazing that the skin to skin happened and that's first because usually they take the baby and they measure him and do all
Yeah,
of
no,
that.
immediately I said, give
Yeah,
him, and the
yeah,
doula was there to make sure that that happened
yeah,
because I was like, I have to do that for him at least, and so he came,
yeah.
we stayed there for like 5 minutes, and then they measured him, then they cleaned him, and then they brought him back, so, and I was like, no, he's gonna stay with me. That's good. Yeah, yeah,
It's I think the beauty of bringing yoga into a woman's life that she becomes very intuitive, and that's what happened, right, with you. You were very your intuition, your instincts, you just listened to it and you had the strength to stand up like I want my baby on my chest right now. And
yeah,
that's so important because you were active right there in your labor and birth, like when I chose the words then active birth, I meant active birth doesn't mean like you're giving birth naturally, because birth is birth and the baby decides, or destiny or anything. But when you are actively like empowering yourself like that and you are choosing, that for itself, like you're setting an example for your child, because one day you're gonna tell him the story of how things happened. And he was like, my mother stood up for me, and
yeah.
that's so empowering and that's so beautiful, because that's what a mother is. Yeah, if she stands up for her child.
Yeah, definitely. No, I don't think I would have been able to be in the hospital and my son like in another room. Like, no way.
Yeah,
No
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Like right after they measured him, he was with me, and then we went into the room, and that was it.
yeah.
Like I'll tell you, thank you. I got
Hi.
a donut.
Yeah, well done. So I
Yeah.
love that you mentioned that you had a doula, and I personally think for a first time mother of pregnancy, I think a doula is very important because you really don't know the way, so you have somebody who's experienced and
Yeah.
you've seen it. So can you tell us how did you know about a doula and how you chose your doula? And you were in Egypt at the time, so it's great that you
Yeah.
had the option of doulas. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. But in Egypt, um, there is a lot of great work going on, and there are a couple of centers, and one of them is in Zamalek. Like it was like just a walk, like 5 minute walk from my house,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, I learned from, I don't remember how. I think, oh yes, it was a friend that knew this doula, and she recommended. She said, "Oh yeah, you should."
And she's legal. She's allowed to go with the mothers to the hospital.
Yeah, I think she is,
Yeah.
and yeah. So
What was the
yeah, it
support
was.
that she offered you during the pregnancy? Was she visiting with you? Was she on
Yeah,
call? Like,
yeah. Well, yeah. Of course. The things that I remember, I had first the first meeting, and then we went for like a massage. There was
mhm.
a somebody from the Philippines that it's really good. She did a massage and everything, and then we would speak a lot over the phone, and
If you have
yeah, she was
questions.
always there. She was always there,
Mm.
for me.
Mm.
I maybe I didn't like
Take the
squeeze the
most.
juice out of
Yes.
it. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have done that, but
yeah,
yeah, that I guess that's a personal
yeah.
choice. But yeah, she was always there. I always felt like she was there. She has the best energy,
Mm.
um, and she has experience, a lot of experience. So she has a center now. She's in Madi. I forgot the name of the center, but anyways, yeah, and then I remember right after everything happened, she came to my house with gifts, and she sat down, she talked to me, and
Mm.
yeah, in a way, and I'm a bit getting teary-eyed because And this is good because this is part of healing, you know, but I kind of felt like I disappointed her, you know.
Mm.
Hi, Ethan.
Good morning, Ethan. Yeah, give Mama a hug. She needs one. Look how gorgeous this little boy, baby.
He's 5 now, right?
You're 5. You're 5, right? I know. You're a big boy. You remember me? You saw me last week? Um,
It was my birthday yesterday.
Happy birthday, sweetie. I heard you had a Sonic cake.
Yeah.
Do you run fast? Do you run fast as Sonic? Oh. You're so sweet. Isn't that amazing that the minute that you needed that hug, he came to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the strong connection we have. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, so I was telling you that, you know, in a way, I felt like, I guess it's an ego thing, you know,
Mm.
because you expect things to be a certain way. Oh, I'm a yoga practitioner, so everything should be natural and blah blah blah, and all this crap that we put in our brains, you know. But it didn't happen like that. So I felt a bit like maybe embarrassed that it didn't happen, that I had hired a doula and it didn't work out, you know.
Mm.
But you know, I think I'm still processing
Yeah.
this whole thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself for that, because in a way, you know, I feel like I let fear get in the way.
Mm.
But
But
you know
that
what?
fear, that fear was more for your child than anything else, and it's very natural.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know if I'll ever like come with come in terms with you know what happened, because to this point I see the video of and I'm like, oh my god, I could have, like, I don't feel happy when I see the video. I'm
Mm.
not happy with it, but I am happy with the after, like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's different for everybody, you
It's
know.
different for
And
everybody. I think self. I'm nobody to say, but I think self forgiveness is one of the biggest lessons our children teach us, because we want perfection for their own sake. We want to give them everything, but then we are only humans and things happen.
I think, you know, this is still some of the postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
still coming out.
Yeah. Did you ever try to speak to somebody about how you feel? Because sometimes simply just verbalizing how you feel can release that. Because I know mothers, they keep that for years, for ages with them.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've talked to enough people about it, because I think you know, when the opportunity came, I used it, you know, and it's with you. Like, I think
Thank you
this
for
is the
sharing
time
this
to,
with me. Yeah.
sure, like, so yeah, no, I don't think I spoke with many people about it. I think I mentioned it a couple times, but I think because the embarrassment is still inside. Let me grab a tissue because I have to, like.
Okay, yeah, take your time.
What? What do you want to tell me?
Oh no, my big car over there.
Yeah. Which car? Oh, Baba, just bring it here because we're doing an interview, okay? Hey, Ethan, can you give me a towel, napkin? I'll be right back.
What?
So yeah. Anyway,
Do we
yeah.
really have this?
Eventually I will have to heal what happened, right? Because otherwise it's gonna get stuck in my body. So
Yeah.
yeah, still there, and I still have a long way to go when it comes to, like, maybe, yes, you said I need to talk to a professional about it, and you know,
Oh, Mom.
But
Boom.
yeah,
Look at this dog.
you are my first my first experience, and like letting it out publicly, because as you said, I was sharing a lot of stuff on social media, right? And but I didn't share anything about the birth because I was embarrassed. I felt embarrassed. But you don't have to be embarrassed, because even if it didn't come out as I wanted, and it doesn't make me less of a mom,
Of course not.
So
I mean, you
I
grew a
still am a
child
mom.
inside of you. I
Yeah.
I really love. I recommend that you. Let me see if I have it here. Yeah, I really love this book, Sue. I wanted to mention it last time. If you can get hold of it, called Yoni Shakti, and it's basically talking about the woman as how powerful and full of energy, and the whole concept behind it when she did her research and she wrote this book, that the woman, she's born with siddhis. So siddhi in Sanskrit means powers. So when the yogis and everybody who does yoga, they're trying to get enlightened and they find their siddhis. But us women, we are born with those siddhis, which is creation of life.
Mom.
And I think that's by itself is powerful, no matter how it happens or what is the way. It's us, like you said, our ego is trying to, make things perfect because we have a caliber, we have standards, we have
Sorry
expectations.
to interrupt.
Yeah,
Sorry,
tell me.
but Ethan wanted to show you this.
Oh my God, my son would love this. My son Jumjum would love this.
Yesterday.
And this is your birthday gift. Thank you for showing to me.
Yeah. So yeah, that book looks so interesting. I love the symbol in the.
So this
in
is the
the
yantra. She
yantra.
talks about the goddesses,
Yeah.
and that's a yantra that represents the goddess. And then she calls on the goddesses to help women, because we are right now, women, we're going through huge shifts. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, you have the whole earth between your hands. The whole world is there.
Turn it so I can see all the city.
Yeah, show me your city, because I don't know where you are right now.
Show her where we are.
Oh, this is Hawaii.
Oh, he's so
This is
sweet.
Hawaii. The island is the volcano where we live in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Do you see the volcano?
Oh, I see the volcano. Yeah. Have you seen them?
That's where we live in Hawaii.
Yeah. Do you like it there?
And here's Egypt.
Here is Egypt. Yeah. You were living in Egypt
Egypt.
before. I see the pyramids there and maybe a camel.
Mommy, you do yoga. You do yoga in the yoga mat.
Yes.
Upstairs in the yoga room.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember.
And Saba does too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You teach them all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
And I go upstairs when Yasser's here.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
sweet.
he's talking about when I was teaching in Egypt, he's talking about
Yeah. Is he
I
missing
want
Egypt?
to go upstairs to
a lot.
You want to
yoga
go?
too.
Okay. Do you have your own
I
mat?
was upstairs. Mommy was trying to catch me.
Yeah. Downward facing dog, upward facing dog. Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. You, Ethan.
I think it would be helpful because also it changed my perception about who we are as women, because she says we are so connected with the universe and the cosmics, even our monthly cycles, because we're affected by the energy of the moon. And so this is how powerful we are, regardless of what we think of us. What is this, Habibi? Show me. It's you open the doors and then?
And vampire.
Oh, there's a vampire. You like vampires?
Anything scary he loves.
Anything scary, yeah.
Look at this.
Is that a kangaroo? I can't see. Oh, Scooby-Doo.
It's a birthday card. It's a birthday card.
It's a birthday
It's a
card.
birthday card.
He's 5 now. His birthday
5.
was yesterday. So yeah. Yeah. So
when I understood that and I made the connection, like it's a miracle that you were getting our menstruation every month. Think about it. Our hormones get aligned and dances in our body, so you get your you get your period, and she says this is how we connected to the cosmics. We are bigger than life. Like we don't know how like we operate. So when I read that and I understood it, I really respected myself more. And I think through that you empower yourself and you forgive, because you can't do it all, because you're already doing it. You're creating life. You're nourishing your son.
Yeah.
You know.
Where? You know, this with the moon that you're talking about is something that I got into after, like when I
Yeah.
was, you know, after Ethan was like, you know, I think 3 years old. You know, I didn't get my period back until like I think second or third year, because I was breastfeeding heavily, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, like for
So
a long
you're
time I didn't
breastfeeding
get.
on demand, night and day. You're
Yeah.
co-sleeping and doing all
No, I don't do schedules. I just follow what he
what
needs.
he needs. Was
You
he
know?
was he
Yeah.
always on the breast? Did he require a lot of feedings?
Yeah, all the time. Like, and I was like, you know, I didn't care,
I'll give it to
whatever he
him.
needs.
So
Yeah,
this means you didn't sleep for that time, huh?
yeah. Like, but I would nap with him once in a while. You know, they always say, no, you sleep when the baby sleeps, and so yeah, I would
That
do
doesn't
that. You
always
know, I
work
have a
out.
lot of
Yeah.
free. Yeah, the first 2 years I took off. I wasn't like teaching. You know, I was practicing, but like light practice. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow. Mhm.
It's like
We have a
Like
similar one here, but it's red. We have the same. It's blue. I like.
yeah, but it was blue.
Is it your favorite color? Is it your favorite color?
Yeah, I love blue because
Yeah.
I love Sonic.
You love sun. You know, my son's favorite color is red. Mama, I want red. Mama, I
Nice.
want. And he has the same hair as Ethan, but he's more dark
Yeah.
brown.
He said, you know, Mom, don't cut my hair. I'm angry at you because you cut my hair. And I was like, Ethan, I'll never cut your hair again. I promise. And so he wants to keep it long.
He wants to
Yeah.
say, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's beautiful, yeah. And I love that they have those curls, you know.
He looks
But
like
I
a surfer.
definitely like this is like my personal thing. I definitely think you should probably do some journaling. I I just release those emotions that are trapped, because your son loves you, and if he knows, he will say, "Mama, it's okay." Definitely, you know. But it's between you and yourself, and I think that you like something you can do easily with your yoga practice. A little bit about your postpartum recovery. You mentioned you had the postpartum depression. When did it hit, and how was it, and how did you kind of like overcome it?
You know, I remember like the first days, I was just, I don't know if it was fear or just also the fact that my husband had to go for, you know, for work, you know, when first, after the second or third day he had to go. So I stayed at home with Ethan on my own, and, you know, I had somebody to help uh, feed me and, you know, but just emotionally I wasn't ready for him to go.
Yeah.
And so I think that that was also hard.
Mm.
But you know,
Yeah. You look
these
back
are
on.
circumstances,
Yeah.
and they make us strong, you know.
Yeah.
And eventually I was like, hey, you know what, you know, I can get out of bed and go to the kitchen, and, you know, everything just slowly um going back to where it should be, you know.
Yeah.
So
Did you have
I've
family around all the time, or you were alone in Egypt?
no, I was alone. I was, you know, I we didn't have close family there. So
Mm.
yeah, so I had basically who was going to be Ethan's nanny in the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
she's very good energy. She has. She's from the Philippines, and,
Mm.
you know, very peaceful energy, and she would make me soups, and she was really good to have around. I felt like, you know, having her around helped as well, you know.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I felt sad for sure.
Mm.
I was feeling scared, but as the days would pass, you know, I was understanding more
Mm-hmm.
and more. and healing, so yeah. Wow, monster trucks.
Love
Wow.
this one. Love this one. This can go on sand and mountains like that.
I love yellow.
Yeah.
I love yellow because I love yellow something.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, love you.
So when do you think, like, when did you start feeling back to normal? Like, did you overcome it? Like, it's a hormonal imbalance. Like, for me, I think it hit around 3 months. Suddenly, like, oh my God, this is too much. This is happening. But then by time, it kind of like faded away and things start settling to normal. Postpartum can be intense, especially if you're breastfeeding night and day. It might be too much, right?
Yeah, well, I don't remember like it lasting that long. I felt a bit weird, because I was like, well, is postpartum depression, should it last longer? I was like, should I suffer more?
There's something wrong with me. I'm not suffering enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think breastfeeding helps so much. I felt so cool, and always being in bed with Ethan helped me a lot. So I would say those two things really, those two things really helped. Wow.
Wow,
And
so did you have any like issues recovering with the cesarean scar? Did you have those diastasis, like the separate muscle? Did you get any of those issues, or you were fine?
nothing. I was good. I was like walking the same,
Amazing.
like same day I was walking. I had to, and I asked the doctor, when can I start my yoga practice? He said, the third week again, and I was like, okay, great. And I started after the third week.
Really? You went back to your full yoga practice, or you started slowly generating energy?
I think I tried to do the whole thing from what I remember, but of course not like quick. I did very slowly. I modified some things, and I felt like the skin pulling from here, because that's where I have the incision. So I went very slowly, and I noticed that I lacked a lot of strength.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, that's coming back for sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's this place? What? Which one?
Here.
This? This is the US.
US?
Yeah.
Mom.
I'm still like.
So I just want to like my last question. What is like, if you have an advice for new mothers and pregnant women, what is your advice, like in any aspect of motherhood, pregnancy, labor, breastfeeding?
Yeah. Look, don't judge yourself for whatever happens. Just take it in, and I think we can be hard. Some people can be hard on themselves. I am hard on myself, definitely, and that's something I'm still working on. So I would say, try to envision what you want for your child's birth, but like in the end, know that there's a stronger force out there that that decides what's going to happen. So you can sometimes you can think, and because you read all these books. I read some books, some methods of doing things, and the hypnobirth, right? All these things. But of course I didn't really like practice it. I'm not saying that it doesn't work, because I didn't fully practice it. I just knew that it existed, and I was kind of doing some of the exercises, but I didn't really have a coach. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but yeah, definitely, like, don't. Yeah, we will go to the beach. Please stop. So yeah, definitely don't judge yourself for whatever happens, and just accept it and move forward, and do the best you can. And that's all you can do, because there is a stronger force out there that you're not this this doesn't control like everything, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the lesson here for me. And yeah, of course you can. Yeah,
That's an amazing advice. Like this is really the bottom line of it. Yeah.
yeah, just forgive yourself. I have to forgive myself, and you know, I'm happy with how I've dealt with things after. So yeah, that's life, and we have to accept how things come. And yeah, there's already life is hard already, so like we have to give our best. That's what I'm trying to do. And
Yeah.
yeah, that's my best advice. That, and you know, if you have fear, try to use breath. You know, I was doing yoga, but you know, at that time I wasn't as connected to the practice as I am now. You know, it's different. Like that was 2014 and we are in 2020. So now I'm using the breath to kind of calm the emotions down, which would have served me better. You know, I was starting yoga and I was starting to be a mom. So like, you know, I feel like if you are a yoga practitioner for a longer time and you have good connection to the breath and you're more in tune with, you know, inside, then I think, yeah, definitely the result would have been much more different. But yeah, that was then, right? And this is now. So.
That's an amazing advice, Sue. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
pouring your heart here to me and
Sure, it's my
sharing
pleasure.
part of your.
I like to keep things honest, you know, so.
No, it's amazing. And I really, like you said, when you spoke to that lady and she gave you the courage, and because of her, you went to Mysore, you're also giving the courage to other women. Like, when you tell them, this is how I did it, I was able to do it, you can also do it. And it's like a circle of women, and we have to give each other, you know, help and support and all of that. So thank you so much.
Yeah. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime.